the second edition of Founders Night. Last month we invited an investor to come and explain about how they invest, how they put millions of dollars in a few startups, and it was extra. This month is going to be different, and we wanted to choose a very specific topic. The topic today is about what's happening after you sell your company, and as a founder, you put years of hard work. You're going to fundraise millions of dollars, and then eventually it's going to pay off or not. But there's one man who managed to do all this, who managed to sell his company. He founded it here in Vietnam, and actually sold it to a really big giant here. And the company he sold it to is Tiki. And this man is right here in front of me, and his name is Tran. So Tran, please come and join me. Thanks. So the format is very simple. We're going to have just around a few questions, and then after that, if you're interested in talking to Mike, it's very simple. You guys can just come and talk to you directly, right? Okay. So maybe for those who don't know about Ticketbox, can you maybe introduce about how you started and introduce about what you did?
Hello everybody. Okay, so before I start, give a raise of hand if you heard about Ticketbox before. Anybody? All right. Okay, it's a majority. So then I started the company in 2013. We raised a few financial funding from investor, international, and then we exited the company in 2019. So at the time, it's been a 6.5 years span for the company, and then we became the largest ticketing company here in Vietnam. Long story short, we become the ticket master of Vietnam in about a few years, and then and then Tiki found us and they acquired us in 2019.
Thank you. So one of the aspects of being a founder and entrepreneur is actually fundraising. So let's say you guys gotta go through all this kind of fundraising, and you raise I'm not sure about the number, but a few $1 million. Can you tell us about the challenge of raising all that money and how to handle that amount of money? Because it's a lot of things to handle, right?
Well, fundraising is quite an important part in any startup life. So at least in my own experience, because it's a young company in the beginning, you can either choose to grow organically. So when you have cash flow, you use this cash flow to fund your company, where you pay for employees, you pay for your servers, you pay for your product, pay for your marketing. Or you can take another route where you have this revenue coming in, and then you can go to investor and then ask them for a bigger chunk of money. And when they invest in your company, and you can use that fund to grow your company faster. So for us, we choose the second route, where we, so at the time of 2014, we booked around almost $1 million in revenue at the time. That was 14, 16 months in operations, and we went to find a startup at the time. So then there was a very active VC from the US, and they were looking for deals here in Vietnam, and we raised a fund from Fire Startups, and then we grew the revenue to more than 4 million, and then we raised another VC round from SIG, which is also another fund from the US, and they fund the company, and then so that's the fundraising for Ticketbox.
So let's say it's founders night here, right? So as a founder, during those 6 years working, building the company, raising and all that, and what made the journey really interesting for you? If you had to say one key thing.
I think the thing that I remember the most is, I used to work in a big company before. I used to be a corporate person before for 3 years, and so then at the time I think I had stress in my big corporation before, but then I started my company. I think the most memorable thing is I think my stress level, the tolerance of stress getting extended over time. One time you think, okay, this is a lot of stress already, I can't do this no more, but then the next 2 months, the bigger shit happens. Your tolerance level get extended. So then, up to the point where, you know, whatever throw at me, it's okay. You know, we can still overcome the challenge and deliver at the end.
So maybe just following up about the stress level you just shared about, like, so you sold the company, and then what happens when like all the stress goes away?
It's great, you know, it's amazing. So basically, I sold the company for an e-commerce company. So ticketing was one of the vertical. You know, if you're an e-commerce company, you want to sell everything. So in 2018, actually, Tiki have a budget to go into an event, entertainment, ticketing business here in Vietnam. And at the time, like the Tiki founder come and talk to me, and like we exchanged some numbers, and then he threw me an offer. The offer, to be honest, was too good to turn down. And I come back to my investor and say, okay, this is a good number, and then we negotiate a little bit more, and we come down to final decision. And the DD and all the legal DD, financial due diligence, takes the whole 1 year for the deal to finalize, and then we finally sign everything and then exit the company in July 2019. I think the most stressful period was in that 1 year, one year span, because you know you have like an MOU with the acquirer, so then you work toward that thing, and then all of your you know, like the strategy to exit is there already. So then and then right after we sold the company, now someone else to come in. It takes us like so my retention period was 14 months. So I still have to stay in the company for another 14 months to hand over all of the big accounts, hand over the management for Tiki. And then I just finalized finish it a month and a half ago, almost I think 2 months ago. So I think yeah, so far so good. Yeah.
May I ask about your age?
36.
So what is the life of a 36-year-old rich man now?
Firstly, I don't consider myself rich. I think like the one thing that I gathered the most from myself for the past 5-6 years is not only about the money. I think this is the experience of building a company from nothing, and then build the management, build the product, and then the go-to-market strategy, and then how to raise fund. So I want to bring that knowledge and experience to go out and so basically what I'm doing now is finding startups. I'm looking for like younger founders, younger startups who want to build a company and grow the company to some certain extent. So with what I've been through and the know-how that I got for the past 5-6 years, I think that I can add some added value for those companies.
So let's say that you're comfortable, you want to be, let's say, like investing in other startups, like the stress level is totally different after that, right? Because like you don't have to, you're not running out of cash anymore, I guess. And then like you can just live like every day on a, you're just comfortable. I would say that comfortable is the best word. So let's say, do you have like pretty much like how to envision your life in the next 5-10 years? Like, do you think you're gonna stay in Vietnam and just do this kind of investing? Do you want to feel like you need to get this rush back in your body, this stress? But maybe it's different because you've been there. So what's a second life?
I think well, before I was managing big amount of money too, like raising a few million for investor, like it's not small at all. And then we have a peak 70 employees to grow the company. I think right now I'm kind of like it's a different ballgame now. Like you said, like you're right. I mean, like you're not gonna be like running out of money. But right now, like looking for before, like, I was in the driver's seat where I run a company. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm the CEO of the company. I'm on the driver's seat, so I know exactly what I'm doing and where the company's heading. But for now, I need to find particular founders who like with the same mindset and with the same drive, so that I can work with this founder and together grow the company. So I think that's also something new for me at the moment because I'm new to this kind of game. So then there's still a lot to be learned.
All right, so last question, and then if you want to talk more to Tuan, you can talk to him directly. So how about the personal life? Because let's say when you're a founder, you're a CEO, you raise millions of dollars, great, have a lot of stress, a lot of shit happening. But now that you have all the money, you have your beautiful car, and you have a lot of time on your hands. What do you do with your time? And that's my last question.
Okay, so I think one thing that I kind of realized after my exit is actually I wanna. So before when I was building the company and trying to exit the company, there was a lot of work, and I mean as a solo founder, there was like I have a lot of staff and investors helping me out, but as a solo founder, it's a lot of work. You know, if you have like your other co-founder who help you out, I think it's better. But if you're like a solo founder, there's a lot of work. So sometimes my personal connections with like friends, some family members, and then also existing staff in the company, I don't really spend time, you know, like nurturing that connection and then taking care of those people. So after exiting, yeah, I have all the time now. So then I'm looking back at this connection and relationship and then work on it.
Really appreciate how you judged the question. Anyway, so this is Mike, and then if you're interested to talk to him, then you can enjoy and talk to him directly. He's very available tonight, and he has a lot of time on his hands right now. Thank you very much.
Em quay chị chén cho em một điếu.